Kind of, oh, there we go.
We have certain issues to clear up before we continue any form of relationship, business or otherwise. Let's lay our cards on the table. I am Yakuza, and I know you worked for Salvatore Leone's family. I can give you work with our organization, but first you must prove to me that your ties with the Mafia are truly broken. Salvatore Leone will be leaving Luigi's in about 3 hours' time. Make sure he doesn't reach his club alive. Meanwhile, Maria and I will catch up on old times.
Oh, Asuka, you've got a massager.
That's not a massager.
Nathan, hello. Just thought I would play some GTA 3 whilst, you know, because this game is still amazing. But yeah, if you don't know GTA 3, this game is actually amazing. Like, this is how many years old now? You okay? Yeah, fine, you know, just fancy streaming GTA 3 for a change and all. You know, because GTA 3 is still amazing. Whoa. Oh, so we need to go to Thingy's mansion then, don't we? But yeah, I'm getting that next. Yeah, you should get GTA 3 next, you know. Like, mind you, Nathan, since you're kind of watching this stream, this will kind of give you an idea of how GTA 3 goes. Okay, I'm getting shot by triads. Pain is my mere name! Alright, we got to go onto the roof then. Have I got sniper on me? Yeah. Alright, so we gotta wait for him then. Okay, right, I'm just gonna grab me another... Actually, oh yeah, I've got a drink on me. I just realised I had a drink on me. Ah! Right, you've got to wait for Thingy to come out the building. Well, I've got to hang around here until Salvatore comes out. But yeah, if you don't know who this guy is, this is Claude Speed. He's the first. I think he's the only GTA protagonist who never talks. Like, he never talks throughout the whole GTA game. If you don't know. Right. Okay then. So. Apparently, coming out of there, maybe. I know it gets boring this part because I've got to wait for him to come out. Hold on. Wait, let me read what it said. How long? What's it? Is it here? Oh, 3:30. Oh. Oh, okay, right. Oh, it's about time then. Okay then. Right. Right. Shake your girlfriend. Shake your girlfriend. Feeling that sex? There's always something about them. Really, there is. So. Oh, yep, they're coming out. Okay. Jeez. I'm still here. Yeah, no, you am. Right, he's coming out then. Right. Come on. It's okay. Don't let that bother me at all. Come on then, Sal, you're a slow guy, ain't you? Douche! And yeah, I've turned the audio off because I don't want to get copy striked. Right, in the car.
A Benjamin will take your pain away.
Yeah, the one thing about this game is that after you complete a certain amount of missions, you'll get gang members who will shoot you every time you visit their territory. So just be aware of that. I'm still same old Riley, yeah. Mind you, this is what Riley grew up with, GTA 3. And to be honest, this was actually my first ever GTA game. But yeah, if you didn't know, this was actually my first ever GTA game I ever played. Oh wow, my blister was still there. Under surveillance.
Salvatore's death comes as pleasurable news. You're an efficient killer. I like that in a man. Ah, this is my brother, Kenji.
Asuka has a little job for you, but when you're done, drop by my casino and we can talk.
We can talk.
Just like Kenji, always trying to play with my toys. My police source indicates that the Mafia are watching our interests around the city in a bid to track you down. We cannot continue our operations until they are dealt with. Take out these spying fools and end this vendetta once and for all.
Yes, we shall end this vendetta once and for all. On a time limit. Don't blame you, mate. Don't blame you. Okay, so we're on a time limit then. Right, through here. And then should be right. Oh yeah, the sniper. There we go. Easy as that. Oh fuck. Nathan, he does that to everyone now, pretending to be everyone, but we all know that it ain't really you, innit? Easy. Oh yeah, this is the bit where I've got to get onto the roof bit, ain't I? Right, okay, right, let's sort this out. Have that. There's one more somewhere, there he is. Easy. Yeah. One armor piece took off just from a little small fall. What the? What? How did that happen? Right, let's go straight to him. Combo bust out!
My sister speaks highly of you, though I'm yet to be convinced that a gaijin can offer anything but disappointment. Perhaps you could help deal with a situation that has me at a disadvantage. Of course, failure has its own disgrace. A Yakuza Kanbu is in custody awaiting transfer for trial. He is a valued member of the family. Break him out of custody and get him to the dojo at Bedford Point.
If you say so. If you say so. Right, so we need a police car then for this. Right, let's get a police car then. Now we've got to rig it with a bomb. You fancy driving? Is CJ in here? Nope. CJ's not in this game. The guy who we're playing as is Claude. That's his name. Claude. Right. There you go then. Hey Jacko, how are you doing? And how am I, you say? Yeah, I'm doing fine, you know, just happy that I've took some time off, you know, and yeah, and I'm glad to know that I'm now moving on, you know. What can I say? Glad I'm now moving on in life. Even though the people who I loved have, you know, moved on now. And apparently it says that we should all stick by our old friends. So yeah, and I'm finally making a head of myself. Right, so we gotta get into this car park then, or police station, shall I say. Right, let's rig it with a bomb then. Oh, it is rigged with a bomb. Right, okay, come on, back. Danny boy! I haven't seen you in a while. In the Navy. I remember that man. Why? Okay, where is it? Right, come on, let's go. Let's get out of here. I'm doing great, thanks for asking, man. What do you mean by your old friends when moving on? Oh, what I mean is like, I've had a few fallouts, but you know, well, you know, it's about time you gotta move on in life, ain't you? So yeah, my mother's my sister. she's the mother of my children. Right. Let's get rid of that store then. What? Right. Yeah, who needs a fucking paint spray when you got police bribes? Who needs that? Oi! I know how you feel, man. Yeah, but you know what though? I'm even glad that I've moved on anyway. I'm even glad that, you know, other people who I loved are now making ahead of themselves. Right, apparently there's another police bribe. Oh, damn it, I've lost him. But yeah, but this game, no, it takes me back so many memories out. But the one thing I hate about this game is when the Mafia gang, if you drive into their territory, you get blown up by a shotgun and get killed instantly. Like, that's the one thing I hate about this game, is the shotgun Mafia people will blow you up in like 2 seconds, or 2 shots, whether. Like, 2 shots, bang, you're dead. From their shotgun, seriously. As long as you're happy though, if you're happy then it was the right decision. Yeah, like I said, I'm happy for doing it. I'd be wanting to ask you something actually. Alright, go ahead then. Right, let's go on to the next mission. What we got? Grand Theft Auto! But yeah, go on in, ask me anything.
It is impossible to overestimate the importance of etiquette in this line of work. To my eternal shame, a man once did me a favor, and I've never had the opportunity to repay his kindness. The man's weakness is motor cars, and he has requested that we acquire him certain models for his collection. Needless to say, we must give him the cars as a gift to repay the debt that I owe him. You must obtain the cars on this list and deliver them to a garage behind the car park in Newport. My honor demands it.
Okay. If you say so, Kenji. Okay, so we got 6 minutes. 6 minutes to get all 3 cars. I mean. Okay. All right. I've been thinking GTA is our blood-free to online, and well, we don't. Why don't we do a podcast and discuss best moments and what we like about? Yeah, you know that. No, that is actually not a bad idea. You know, I was thinking of, talking about doing a podcast mini-series maybe, just talking about best moments of like video games and that, and GTA 3 and all that was one of them. Like, because you get like people who don't even know about these old GTA games when like where a lot of people have played these before GTA 5 even existed. But yeah, I was actually thinking that doing a podcast about why old GTA games have better taste, really. Because obviously not everyone likes GTA 5, of course. Like, I do love all my GTA games, but there are some that... Because I have a ranking list of my favourite to my least favourite, and all that. But yeah, I get the understanding of that. But yeah, we'll definitely do that one day, doing a little podcast. I'm up for it now if you agree. I mean, yeah, as long as I don't get any party errors, because obviously I know my parties are a bit stuff. But you know what? What if let me do that actually? Right? Okay. What if? Okay, so we're gonna throw in a little mini podcast then whilst this is going on then, I guess. Right, let's go and get the next car then. Oh! Okay, let me just turn that other audio down. But anyways, people, this is going to be a podcast as well, whilst mixed up with the GTA 3 stream, talking about why maybe this game is still amazing, or why people love the older GTA games. But anyway, I've got Dan with me to discuss that, because he's obviously played all of them, I think. Maybe all of them, but it'll be nice to,
The only one I haven't beat is Chinatown Wars.
Yeah,
I've played them all. Well, besides Advance. I haven't played Advance for the Game Boy.
Yeah, speaking of the 2D ones, I was never really a huge fan of them, really. Because obviously I wasn't really part of my generation until, the 3D GTAs existed.
The only reason I had interest in Chinatown Wars was because it was strangely lacking oldeny from GTA 4, but it was practically the same city. It had Bohan, it had Algonquin, it had the broker area as well. I was like, it wasn't a directly top-down game. It was sort of like, it was slightly leaned forward, like the camera was more behind the vehicle than it was in front of it. It wasn't top-down like the original games, because I don't have interest in the originals. I mean, I respect them for being there, GTA 1, 2, and London, but they just weren't my thing when I got into gaming, and the 3D era was my sort of introduction to the games.
Yeah.
GTA 3 all the way up to Vice City Stories, but it was interesting to play Chinatown Wars because it's a little bit of a taste of what those older games were like, mixed with GTA 4 elements, along with elements from the 3D era as well. It was like a well-good package, and it was released for the Nintendo DS and PSP. And back in the day, the DS was my thing. Before I moved to PlayStation 2 and started playing the Grand Theft Auto games.
But yeah, though, but I see how, some people have better taste in those sort of games, because it actually reminds them of memories and all that, because obviously back in the day, like 3D eras were like those were the days until maybe
GTA 3 was
4
revolutionary back in 2001.
Yeah.
It was revolutionary. There was nothing like it at the time. There were things that were like it, but didn't come close, and it's sort of... GTA 3 is not just important for the GTA series, but what all open world games are built on afterwards. Even to Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Saints Row, they all take elements from it. I mean, there's a reason why they call these games GTA clones, isn't there? Like, it
Yeah.
was revolutionary when it came out, and it greenlit a sequel, which would in 2002 turn out to be its big brother, so to speak, that took us back to the 80s with Tommy Vercetti.
Yeah, that's the one thing that interests me is the times like the game took place in. Like Vice Cities were like in the 80s, and we got like San Andreas in 1992. And like I say, those really interested me more because, like it kind of is like relevant to the story, like what happens in like the 80s or 90s and all that. It just fits in the theme and all that.
Yes, I agree. And especially considering just how much traits Vice City took from the movie Scarface as well. The drugs, the atmosphere, the lighting, the voice acting, and the voice acting has always been top notch. Well, GTA 3's was a little bit rusty, but like I say, you forgive it because it was Rockstar's first outing into the 3D style that they would be known for until the arrival of Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 systems. But
Yeah.
Vice City was that true first game where things took off. Like, GTA 3 was a great game, but then you throw it out into the ballpark with Vice City and then San Andreas as well, and people are like, wow, like these guys, and that's what put Rockstar on the map. Like, they weren't on the map before then, but that definitely put them onto the map.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, ever since San Andreas got like released, everybody just wouldn't even stop playing it. Everyone would just carry on, just playing that game, even if they've completed for the first time. That got them even more motivated, and it's even become the most selling PlayStation 2 game in the world. Like, I still see why people enjoy San Andreas even more. Like, I'm so glad that they even do that. Really am.
It brought me many hours of joy growing up. Because like I say, when I left school and stuff like that, personal stuff, I'm not going to get into that, but like when I was at home by myself for many hours, for many weeks, it brought me a lot of fun. Not just San Andreas, but the whole era. Like even LCS, which is currently standing as my least favorite, and there are reasons for that. I get slightly annoyed with LCS because of the fact that just after it, Vice City Stories would be released, and it would introduce so many things into Vice City that was in San Andreas that made it such a good game. That's why I put it third on that list that I posted to Instagram. LCS let me down on the other hand because I think the city could have been reworked. Liberty City got given the worst treatment with the 3D era. Vice City, you could explore by helicopter, by boat. In San Andreas, you could do the same things, but you could also swim. I think LCS had limitations which make it my least favorite out of the series. That doesn't make it a crap game, though. It's still a really damn good game. And it's sort of, in chronological order, it's the last time we get to see things before what would happen in Grand Theft Auto 3, which is essentially where we started off this series with. So, it was kind of a letdown to me, which is why I give it an 8 out of 10. It's the worst out of the series, but it's not a bad game now. It's just, I think, coming after San Andreas, they could have done a lot more with it. Like, they could have added proper drivable helicopters that spawned at the airport. They could have added swimming mechanics, and they could have added other things as well that would have made it a better package. But, as it stands, it was still a good game for what it was. The story more than made up for it.
Now coming over to Vice City Stories, I would rank that like maybe my least favorite GTA game. There are several reasons why I think that, because the one reason would be the side missions, for example, like especially when you do the checkpoint ones, because obviously checkpoint ones you are given a certain time to complete a checkpoint before you reach that certain time, because if you go over that time it counts as a fail. Like, I don't know why Rockstar would really do that, but I guess it was like more of a challenge to like see how well the games could actually do the side quests and all that. But that really, I think that was the reason why maybe not just me, but maybe others kind of ranked this as their least favorite GTA because of the side missions. Because to be honest, I never really liked the side missions in the game, so that's why I'm putting this out as my least favorite GTA game. It's just the stuff they added in the game and all that. Mainly, but the story though, the story's amazing. But it's just when it comes to side missions, if you're going for 100%, it gets really to a point where people are just getting a bit depressed maybe by it because of why people don't like the side missions and all that. But on the other hand though, the story is very amazing though, to be honest with you. So I would give that maybe like a 4 out of 10, I would say.
I personally think why I ranked Vice City Stories as third place on my list is because it just seems like a really good mixture of essentially the two best PS2 Grand Theft Auto games, which a lot of people would say would be Vice City and San Andreas. Vice City beating GTA 3 sales and San Andreas beating them both by a landslide. I think and not just that, but it's not just doing all of that on a PS2 system. It's doing everything that Vice City and San Andreas did well, in my opinion, just my opinion of course, on a PSP system. So it's not just doing what, I mean, yeah, it doesn't look as good as Vice City, it's very choppy here and there, but and I've heard this from reviewers and stuff around too. I didn't notice when I was playing it, but the gameplay recorded seems to show it off. But Vice City Stories had better running ability too. Like, it worked better on the PSP. It didn't lag as much as as Liberty City Stories did prior. And like I say, unlike Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories takes what was good about Vice City, empire building, but kind of reworked it for the better. I love the empire building of Vice City Stories. I think it's very engaging. And it combines buying businesses, which was present from Vice City all the way up to Vice City Stories. And you kind of mix it a little bit with gang wars from San Andreas, but in a different term, being you have to destroy a vehicle, then they come out, then you kill them, then that property goes up for sale, and then you buy it. I really love that feature. And I love the fact that it's kind of throwing everything from San Andreas and Vice City into one, whilst it's still being on a PSP system. And the reason I forgive GTA 3 and LCS, and I don't give them really low scores, because I don't think they're bad games at all. That's why I still give them, I gave GTA 3 a 9 out of 10, and I gave LCS an 8 out of 10, because they're nowhere near being bad games for me. But I just think, you know, GTA 3, you forgive it because it was their first outing. The aiming system's a bit bad, but later versions like the Xbox and PC version would fix it, so that doesn't really bug me. But I think LCS should have known a little bit better, being that it was the game after San Andreas. But that could just be me if I was expecting more from it, being the game after San Andreas. But for what it was a really good game. But Vice City Stories will remain my third game. In fact, actually, it and Vice City were in flux for a long period of time, but what finally made me keep Vice City as second place was because there's no money cheat in Vice City. You really have to be... It really tests your mind. You can't just, you know, cheat your way through Vice City. You really have to do stuff to get money, to buy businesses so you can progress the story. Out of all 3D era games, Vice City's probably the most challenging when it comes to money. And you can't just spend it willy-nilly wherever you want. You do have to be really good with it. And yes, there is no cheat for money in Vice City. Whereas in all other GTA games before and after had a money cheat.
Now, I actually get a few questions on comparing San Andreas to GTA 5, because I get this quite a lot really from maybe some of my subscribers, or even maybe from other people, or even friends. They want to know which one is more better, because there are a few differences that maybe San Andreas could have been better than GTA 5, or maybe 5 could have been better than San Andreas. I get that quite a lot though, and that really confuses me, because I'm actually going to be honest, San Andreas and GTA 5 are like my favourite GTA games, and I don't know which one to like say which one's my favourite, because, you know, like, I've just enjoy them so much, and it's really hard to pick, because a lot of people seem to like enjoy San Andreas more, or maybe a lot of people seem to enjoy GTA 5. Like, that really gives me the confusion which one to pick. Like, seriously. So,
I think personally, it depends on what age you are and what you're born into and what you like. For example, the young kids now, I think GTA 5 without a doubt, but I think for people that have that nostalgia, because back in the day, it was single player only, and this is what Rockstar has just proved this yet again with Red Dead Redemption 2. Their story skills for the older games were brilliant, top notch. I could barely find them. Yeah, there's minor nitpicks. You could call that it's starting to age a little bit when you start to see like little nitpicks popping up here and there. But the overall story, like CJ's story for the entire state, is somewhat flawless. I can barely see any mistakes in the story or any mistake or anything that doesn't make sense. Like, it is a great all-round game. And no, I don't think, and I was just reading your comment section a little bit here too, I wouldn't say GTA 5 has an ass story, it just doesn't have as memorable of a story.
I know, because I was thinking, let's take San Andreas' story for example. Like, when CJ, left, San Andreas after the death of his mother, and then went to Liberty City to work for Joey Leone, and then after finding out that his mother died, then deciding to return back to San Andreas to find out who murdered his mother. Like, all that story, and especially going around the whole estate of San Andreas. Like, you start out in Los Santos and you going around to visit San Fierro and then like Las Venturas and the desert and that. That felt like a story. But
it's not just one big story. It's a big story made out of multiple little stories. That, you feel like easily the story in Los Santos, San Fierro, makes up the entire story of what Grand Theft Auto 3 was. So, you've got that. It's not just one solid story for one solid character. What makes CJ's story so memorable is the characters in it, going from sweet to woozy to the truth, and then down into even having a cameo from the man himself, Salvatore Leone. I think that's what makes San Andreas' story so memorable, is that it's not just a good story by itself, but it also honors its past and its future, with cameos appearance from Claude, Catalina, Salvatore Leone, and Ken Rosenberg himself, Mr. Paranoid. I'd lock myself up in my office just so people can't see how paranoid I am, Rosenberg. Just to name a few. That's what I like about San Andreas. It's not just a good game by itself. It honors all the other games that are around it. The ones that are yet to come, and the ones that have already been.
Now, I'm coming back to Liberty City's stories. The one thing that kind of bugged me quite a lot was the helicopters. Like, to be honest, like if you...
They're in the game.
Yeah, no.
They tease you with them.
Like, cause there was like 2 missions or maybe 3 missions. Like, you could actually like take helicopters and go for a ride. Even save one of them from a mission in Staunton Island. Like, you could actually get to keep that. I know, like, I don't see why they could have been added, but Rockstar left the controls in the game, but never really bothered to bring them out until...
Well, this is what I mean by it was after San Andreas, and it's not like it was, they went from San Andreas, Liberty City stories and then to GTA 4. They would do this, and they would have helicopters again in Vice City stories. Not just that, but they would add a swimming mechanic with stamina. I just don't get, that's what annoys me a little bit about LCS, is like, it could have been so much more. Again, that doesn't make it a crap game. I like what we got as a whole. But there are missions involving boats, there are missions that could have been easier if you had a helicopter. You could go from one side of the map to the other without having to go, well, traveling through Liberty City, to be fair, wasn't that challenging anyway. You just go across the bridge going from Shoreside Vale to Staunton, and then you would just go across the Portland bridge as well. It's not that difficult, but still, it would have been nice to have a bird's eye view of Liberty for once. I mean, I get that in GTA 3 the textures were a bit bad, but that was okay for the time, because if you know this from PC mods and stuff like that that'll allow you to find GTA 3, most of those buildings don't actually have roofs. Like, they're just hollow buildings. Like, they're textures going all the way around, but there's nothing on top. It's like an open box, so to speak. But they could have easily have fixed that with the tools that they had in, for LCS on the PSP. It's not like you know, the top of the stadium could have been covered up and stuff like that. I just don't get why they didn't let you have helicopters. And if it was buggy, I think it doesn't take that many resources to just put a roof on a building. You just make a texture, a flat texture, and that's it. You know, it's not that difficult to do. To give us helicopters and give us the ability to swim, and, you know, without... I hate to point out the obvious, but how come all the characters that are white in the 3D era of GTA can't swim? Clyde, Tommy, and Tony can't swim, but Victor and CJ can? It's like turning a meme up on its... It's like turning a meme upside down, and it's... The white men can't swim. I don't get that. Like, it's only the black guys in that era that can swim. Are Rockstar trying to tell us something with that? They seem to be the only ones that train themselves how to swim. I mean, I get Victor, he's a soldier, but what about CJ? He's a gangster. What, did he swim from Liberty City to Los Santos? Did he not even take a plane? I don't get it. Like,
I mean, he could have had a few lessons, but who else could have known if he's been doing gangbanging and all that? Who else could have known?
And Victor was clear of all drugs in the first mission of Vice City Stories, so it can't be the drug influence that makes him able to swim. No, but it's...
Now, coming up to what some people hate now. Now, the one thing I get a lot from maybe reviewers is the GTA 3 Mafia. That's the one thing that gets me, is once you complete the mission where you got to kill Salvatore. Yeah, like once you complete the mission Salvatore, like next time you enter St. Mark's, in like 2 shots of a shotgun, you're dead. It's like you can't go into St. Mark's anymore. Like, you can't do like your paramedic mission or just do any more missions.
There's two ways of doing this. Like, this is one of those you really have to, because GTA 3 has those missions in it that benefit from you doing them at an early point. For example, Kenji and Luigi both have missions that aren't required to complete the story, but they are required for 100% completion. You can go straight from Luigi to Joey missions, and then to Tony, and then to Salvatore, and then boom, you're on Staunton. But to get the best experience, you have to do every mission, like do all of Luigi's, and then on the other island too, do all of Kenji's, because those disappear once you complete that mission where you, for Donald Trump, for Donald Love, where you go and assassinate Kenji on the car park lot. And if no one knows that already, well, if you've been hiding under a rock, spoilers, I guess. A Chinese man dies.
Like, I don't even see why they could have, you know, just fixed the feature where you got to like complete Kenji's missions before you do Donald's missions. Like,
they learnt from that, I think, in Vice City and in San Andreas too. There aren't optional missions anymore that I can recall from the other games that preceded it. All missions were requireable to complete the story, which is good because missing out on those missions is very easy to do. Like, you can go and you can start doing Joey's missions by accident, and then you can lose the ability to do Luigi's once you've gotten to the second island, and you kind of lose track of everything. So, yeah, they could have reworked around that. And another thing that was annoying about GTA 3, which later versions would change, is the lack of an in-game map. Which is kind of irritating, because the ability to not look at a full map like you could in Vice City is kind of frustrating for anyone, I could imagine, that would go back to GTA 3. But that's just a minor nitpick, and plus they would fix that in later versions, like the iOS versions for the Android and iPhone. Which, by the way, where's our Vice City Stories port for the iOS? Why is that not a thing yet?
Yeah, because I see him, because every 10 years, Rockstar maybe would just give an app out on the iOS or iPhone, whatever, every 10 years, like they did for the other GTA games. Like, I don't know why they still haven't done one for Vice City Stories yet. Like, it's been like, how long now? It's been like over 13 or 14 years now, and they still haven't released a iOS version for it. But I've been hearing rumours that they might be coming out for PS4. That's the rumour I've been hearing. Because obviously, you know, LCS and VCS were not for like Xbox and all that, or any of them systems, but because they've always been like a PlayStation system. But you know, like
Yeah.
there was a rumor about that, like they're gonna be releasing on PS4 soon.
That's a possibility. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously we're not looking at remasters here. We're looking at ports. Like for example, what you're playing right here in Grand Theft Auto 3. You can tell the one. Okay, for anyone watching who doesn't know how to tell the difference between what version someone's playing of a game, that grey hub. If you notice when he's walking around, he's got the SMG out now, and in the
Yeah.
corner you've got that grey square. That turns to yellow on the Xbox and PC versions. So essentially what Riley is playing here is the original OG version of Grand Theft Auto 3, which is essentially, this is the original game that would set off everything all the way up until what we've got now with GTA Online. This is the blueprint, the original PS2 port version. The only thing that's different is that this was taken from a disc and put onto a store, and that's it. It's still the same original version with the same interesting dialogue.
Now, coming over to like the best moments, really, like there are some like serious best moments from like, or even maybe some things people may not know about some of the GTA games. Like, for example, like let's say San Andreas, for example. If you go to the casino and you got like no money left, like you can ask to borrow money from the casino, and you like bet all your money until it goes red, and then next time you go out of the casino you'll get a phone call from like the manager claiming that you owe them money, and if you like don't give them back the money, then the bodyguards will come and hunt him down until they pay off
You know
his
what doesn't
debts.
make sense about that?
What does
Just minor nitpick. If you lose a lot of money and if you become in debt while you're playing at Woozy's casino and you still get a call off the Mafia casino dudes, I'm thinking, well, that makes sense, doesn't it? You would think Woozy would have your back with that, but obviously not.
I know, unless they kind of like did a bit of a mistake maybe or something like that, or maybe
It must just be the casino system. There's not two casino systems, it's just one whole casino system. So if you become in debt, you'll get that call regardless.
Yeah, and
Also, the Yakuza Stinger, I love that car.
I know, yeah, coming to the cars really, I like but looking at the colour though right now, like the colour on the PS4 comparing to like the PC, or maybe Xbox has it as well, which I'm gonna say, like the colours on the Xbox and the PS versions, they're just like so colourful and bright and all that. I just love the colouring of it. Like PC just kind of like ruins the colour a bit though. Like it just
And
makes
gameplay a bit.
yeah, like
Well-
PC though. It just kind of just doesn't fit the colouring for it. And Harry, I'm talking to Danny. We're talking about the best moments of GTA's.
Our
So that's what we're
thoughts
talking
about the series, really, both the 3D and the
4D.
HD era, and if anyone wants to talk about it, the original 2D era too, even though I have not played those games. But I respect them for being there, though.
Yeah, I kind of respect it and all, because obviously, like, people, not from my generation when I was born, like, people from, like, born in, like, maybe early 80s or 90s, like, I'm happy that they get to play the
90s.
first GTA game, really, because obviously, you maybe had to, like, just grow up with that game until, like, they started making more until, like, to GTA 5. But, yeah, we kind of get the feeling on that.
That signpost you just posed back there, self-promoting the Rockstar billboards.
Yeah, what about that billboard?
Yeah, Rockstar self-promoting themselves in their own game universe.
Yeah, the one thing about these sort of billboards, or just anything really, like, ever since I sometimes, when you look at billboards, or maybe, like, hidden corners, like, you see, like, other GTA games mentioned that you may not be able to find, or maybe could find, like in Vice City, going near the airport maybe, or the, or the military base maybe, there was a billboard of GTA 3 on there, and
If you
just...
go down this road, like here, where you are right now, which is this phone right here, if you look down the road on the opposite side to the Portland Bridge that takes you into Portland,
Yeah.
if you look on the opposite side towards Surfside Vale, just down this road, this big road here, you'll actually see a billboard of a plane, which
yeah, I'm actually gonna
shows
see
the
that.
plane going to Miami, and that's sort of a little nod to what's to come the next year.
Oh yeah, because I was thinking of that, because I was just going to talk about that, like, because I saw this in GTA 4 because I saw a billboard saying "See you in Los Santos," and that kind of got me the feeling like, could this be like the next GTA game involving in Los Santos again? And I'm thinking, could this really be it? But then it kind of, and then in the end, it just came to it. Like GTA 5 is now in Los Santos again.
I
Like, that
remember
kinda
the
get me-
speculations for GTA 5 was all over the place. Like, people thought Michael was Tommy.
Yeah, I would say because there are some references like in their outfits and all that. Like you got Franklin that can get CJ's starting outfit, and like Michael as Tommy's shirt and that, and Trevor with like the leather jacket and the green cargo pants or trousers if you're UK, whatever. See, that kind of gives me the reference really, and kind of a resemblance of their story side, like Franklin being a
The only
gangster and that.
the only difference between Clyde and Trevor is like one doesn't shut up and one is constantly mute. That's the only difference between Claude and Trevor, but they are pretty much both psychopaths. Claude is a silent killer. He don't give a fuck. He will
know.
kill you even if you're his best friend. Like, he has no friends in that city. I think the closest thing to a friend he has in that city is probably 8 Ball, and that's only because they got out of jail together. And that's pretty much it. No one's his friend in that city. Even Maria, you can hear him pop a shot in at the end.
But yeah, but the one thing that was questionable to me, in my opinion, really, was Claude's voice. Like, did he have a voice before then, before the events?
Oh
of
yeah,
San
if you go and
Andreas?
jump off of a building, you can hear a sound, alright?
I know it's something
Or
like
if you drown.
something like that, like just a little hurting voice thing. See, like, because I was thinking like Claude got like maybe shot in the throat, maybe, or just like I know this is gonna sound me being stupid, or maybe just had like voice issues and all that, or couldn't be able to speak
It
and
would
that.
be interesting
know.
to explore his backstory. It could have been something they could have put in San Andreas, but I don't think they really wanted to. They wanted to give him a really respectable cameo, which is kind of fair because a lot of people consider San Andreas, Vice City, and GTA 3 as the only 3D era games, which I don't
Yeah.
agree with. I think VCS and LCS are worth a mention, but a lot of people didn't have a PSP or PS2 system, so that's I understand. So it's, you know, the 3 core games. It's a great way to send off the series before most people jump the boat to GTA 4. It's a good way of people saying, "Oh look, it's the dude from GTA 3. You know that guy that never spoke? Yeah."
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Because obviously some characters have made a reappearance, but the one thing I would have really loved to see was like 3D characters moving on to 4D GTAs. But it kind of got me the feeling that if they was old enough to do that, like it might have took hard work to recreate the character. Like I've heard this reference from somewhere, like they want to keep like the 4D characters in like the 4D GTAs because they can like use the model of that character and like just make some changes on it. Like let's say like Gay Tony, for example, like they could use the GTA 4 model and then just make some few changes, like what they did with his hair and all that, and his face and all that. They could just do like a few changes with that. But what
I
would
think he
really
looked fine in GTA Online when it came to him being released in that. I think he looked really good, because the dude is not young. I think that's what people got to remember about Tony. He's not young, he is old. You know, he lived through the 1980s. He was the 1990s.
I know,
Just to
'cause
quote him from the trailer. But, you know, he's not young, he is old, so I think they did a good job. And he doesn't look that old, he doesn't have grey hairs, yet.
I know, because the one thing that kind of interested me, like he looked way younger in GTA 5, because in GTA 4 he looked kind of a bit older comparing to now you see him in GTA 5 Online. He looks a bit
Well, it's
younger.
essentially, it's 10 years, like, 10 years, it's 10 years later, you know, from the events that happened with, Mr. Ray back in Liberty City, when Lewis took him out, which is a great way to finish that. We'll get to that part of the discussion, the GTA 4 trilogy, of those 3 characters, because those in themselves deserve a throne to sit on. And also, press F in the chat to pay respects to Johnny. We miss Johnny.
Yeah.
Miss him. But still, that was fucking awesome for Trevor, though. It was an awesome introduction. But press F to pay respects to Johnny.
Yeah,
Let's have a
please
moment
do.
of silence.
Show some love.
And a moment of silence for Victor Vance, too, considering he practically ate the bullet before Vice City's plot even began.
Oh yeah, because I saw that introduction cutscene with Tommy where like they arrange like a drug deal maybe, but then after like when they show him like the cash like tens and twenties used, and then says that he has a deal and all that, it all just came to a point where it all just like went wrong and just killed everyone else out of nowhere. But like Tommy got lucky to like survive that, and then just got away with
The
it.
dude was like, he was dodging, he was like waving his arms up in the air, and he dodged all of them bullets like a boss. I don't know how Ken wasn't shot, to be honest. Just sat there in that car. But hey, he's required later for San Andreas, so we'll keep him in there.
Yeah, the one thing I would have, what Tommy should have really done in that introduction cutscene was like when they dropped the money, you know, he could have just picked it up and then just like made a run for it. Like he could have just like done that because obviously he did.
Like
own
what
and
Johnny did in the Libertonium when Lewis ambushed him and Nico. He managed to do it.
Like seriously, because
I mean,
obviously
I think he lost a few bills in that case, though. It got shot up pretty bad by Lewis.
I know, because I see like why he owns Sonny like money and all that, and keeps on like phoning him like as you play throughout the story, like keep saying where is my money, Tommy, and all that. Like how Sonny just gets so pissed off. Like he could have just paid off like the money ever since he grabbed that from the drug deal, and then even though the story could have had like been even different if that even did happen, but I guess that's how Vice City was like meant to be made or something. Maybe a reference from like Scarface, like you said earlier, like the game was like a reference from it. But I
It's
guess
sort of
that's
like,
something.
you know, he's just got out of jail, and then, you know, things go sour really quickly.
But now now moving on to
Red
the
Dead 2 Online.
yeah, Red Dead's yeah, speaking of the Red Dead series, let's go back to Red Dead 1 where you like play as John. Like I'm gonna be honest, like 'cause I did 100% that game once, and then like I never really did again. Not for like any reason, maybe because I wasn't like too used to like the Red Dead series and all that. Or maybe it's just like me or something, cause I never really knew about it was like I actually never knew it was like an open world game. Like I never even knew until I
Because Red
played
Dead
it.
Revolver wasn't.
I know,
Because
but
Red Dead Revolver was actually a project that Rockstar picked up from Capcom, believe it or not.
yeah, but then ever since Red Dead 2 now, then that kind of got me the habit to get back into the Red Dead Redemptions, and like cause it just
Red
kind of
Dead
felt.
Redemption 2's single player, alongside the fact that it's a prequel to the original Red Dead, which I know is in a lot of people's hearts, especially the ending, which I won't spoil for anyone that hasn't seen it. But I'm sure a lot of people have seen it by now. It's 2019, people. How have you not seen the ending to Red Dead Redemption 1? But Red Dead Redemption 2 single player is a masterpiece, without a doubt. Slightly annoying in some areas, but those are just my minor nitpicks and just things that I find frustrating as a gamer myself. But the game is a masterpiece. Now, when it comes to Red Dead 2 Online, I think it's like this. Red Dead Redemption 2 single player is amazing, top notch. I don't think many things can beat it. GTA Online is the more successful online mode for Rockstar currently. And I'm not saying that because Red Dead 2 is still in its beta stage. I strongly think that Red Dead 2 is not going to do as good as GTA Online. Because there's just not as much stuff in Red Dead Online for people to have as much fun as GTA Online. GTA Online has a more wider audience, so to speak. And Red Dead 2 doesn't. No, that's not me saying that it's going to be shit. I want to see Red Dead Redemption 2 Online go well. But I don't think it's going to. Because you've already got one online game on the market, which, even though the prices are obscene, people still play it. You know, whether you're a tryhard or a casual player or whatever. People still play it because it's a damn good game. The grind is too much, but it's a good game to have fun with friends. It had a rocky start, but by December of its first year, which was just a couple of months after release, GTA Online was well on its way to becoming what it is now. And when we finally got the Heist DLC, that was finally it. Like, GTA Online could have ended there. That was pretty solid. It was a solid package up till that point. but we got better update after better update after better update. And I just don't think you can have as many updates for a Western game as you can for a modern-day 21st century shooting game. I think Red Dead Online isn't going to do as well because of that, just because of that feature alone. But not just that, Rockstar really did balls it up. They really did. Like, they started off with a bad economy, but that got fixed. Fair enough, prices got lowered. But then it's just the connection issues that I've heard from... there's a couple of my friends, one of them being Travis, that has issues connecting to the servers, which, by the way, aren't even Rockstar servers. They're on beta servers, so they're not even running that on their own servers yet. The same as GTA Online, it's not even on those yet. And I think that, like, people that pay for that deluxe edition too, just to get early access to to Red Dead Online a couple of days, I don't get that. I don't get it, because you're paying extra. I mean, granted, yeah, you do get other things in that edition, but you're getting a couple of days early access to a beta, which is already a beta. That's going to be a beta for the people, normal people that start playing it in a couple of days anyway. There's a lot of things about Red Dead I'm trying to remember, because I'm not as good as thinking about it in the moment. I'm trying to remember all the points that I want to point out. But I just think it didn't just have a rocky start. It has, like, it went up. Like, the hype train was real for Red Dead Online, and then it went down. I don't think it's a failure, but I definitely think it's crashed. Not completely. There was a lot still salvageable about it. And I think it could be a really good online mode if they tweak a few things. They could add the Trapper. They could add train robberies. They could have a final bank heist at the end. They could have a version of heist, because we all know, they know that Rockstar know we loved it from GTA Online. And just chuck that in there. Now, I know it's not going to happen on day 1 or even on day 100, but within its first year, I would hope that we get something big for Red Dead Online. Just so it can keep going. Because right now, the ways of making money, the griefing system, all of these are major issues that Rockstar need to address and fix. The parlay system, easier ways of making money, not hand it to you on a silver platter style of making money. Still grind. Every game you need to grind for, and people need to get used to that and stop bitching about grinding as a whole, because you need to do that. But they need to make it easier to make money, and then people will be encouraged to make that money so that they can get many things. And rank up too, because right now I'm on rank 10 and I have no more urges to go and play Red Dead Online besides with friends every now and then, just to fuck about, because there's just nothing to do. And I think that's the main complaint people have, there's just nothing to do. But enough of what I think. Now, what are your thoughts about it? Have you read up on it?
Yeah, kind of have been really, but I guess it has its own kind of sceneries and all that. And like, because obviously once I kind of like play the game, like, let me talk about the story of it first. Like, once I like complete it, like, I realise nothing to do. But as of the other hand, online, like, there could be something for me to do, but like, as I like keep doing that sort of maybe what I'm doing, I can't get bored that easy. Like, I could be like, there could be other things I can do, but like, let's take the grinding, like getting money on GTA Online. Like, back on old gen, it was really easy to make money. Like, it was really that easy to make money, but nowadays making money's kind of a bit. I mean, some people may say it's easy, but it takes a long time now.
It's a chore.
I know.
It becomes a chore. It doesn't become fun anymore, and that's what's missing from, essentially, from both titles. GTA Online does it better. Also, I don't know what the fuck he's doing on that road. He's bouncing all over the place, along with the fucking cops and all.
I have not even had that before.
He drove into the fucking wall.
I know, like, I have never had this. See, this is the one thing that has now surprised me about GTA 3 now. Like, I have never had this in my entire life. One guy would do that, but that has made it easy for me to do that mission now. And I don't know what the hell I'm back in Poland for this mission, but I guess who cares. But anyways, back to
take the bridges back.
I know, but going back to what I was talking about the thoughts on Red Dead and all that, and the online for GTA 5, like, making money though. Ever since like the other updates came out, like gun running or smugglers
Oh,
run,
stay
just
away from
all the.
St. Mark's.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from them surely. Ever since like grinding money now, it's kind of takes a while for me, and that kind of I don't know why, if this is just me, but it quickly just bores me. Like
Yes.
I could seriously do with a car right now, but I can't even get one. But oh, here's one.
Check your Portland safe house just in case.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really collect cars though. That's the thing. That's the one thing I don't really hardly do much now.
The main focus of the game, Grand Theft Auto, and storing cars, and you don't have a car in your
I
garage.
know,
Just shame on you.
but seriously though, like I want to be like Jamato, who like collects cars, like special, like bulletproof or fireproof, whatever, like any proof things on the car. Like I don't know, like let me know in the chat if you watch.
Those are so useful.
Yeah, so if anyone is watching right now, let us know in the chat if you know like Jamatone or Dutch Booty or Budo K fan or something. I think that's his name, or like Al Malloy. Like
He has
those.
an awesome voice. His accent is awesome when he talks.
I know,
in his videos.
like I could collect those vehicles to get more handy, like make missions more easier, or just like show off really to show what I've collected or like who has helped me in that. But I was
Tell you
really
what you
never.
should do. What you should do. If there's any future rain missions here, have you got that Patriot that he gives you?
Well, this is just like a Staunton Island save file, like because I've got like 3 save files where I've like completed like most of the side missions before I continue like missions for an island. I guess if I get to that point, then
Consider saving it for harder missions in the future. It might come in handy
Yeah,
in the
no.
final mission, actually.
like yeah, see, because one thing is because I see because I saw people like just take the Patriot and like just go straight forward to complete it really, or there was that useful handy tactic which kind of takes a minute to do, but like if you've collected like all the hidden packages, like you could just quickly just go back to your Shoreside safe house and just collect them all, and then just go straight and just annihilate everyone on that dam and just complete the mission more quicker. Like seriously.
Also, as well, the M4 in this game is OP as hell, and it
I-
sounds amazing too. It sounds like you're shooting a death beam.
I know, it's like a assault rifle version of a minigun. Like especially
Essentially, yeah.
especially when you get like 6 stars in the game. Like if you get 6 stars after you on
Oh,
that Shoreside Vale,
They'll
like as
destroy
soon as
you
they
with those
I know,
things.
like no matter how much armor
If
or
the
health
tanks
you
don't get
have,
you.
I know, even tanks as well, but no matter how much full armor or health you have, they will instantly just kill you in like 2 seconds, and then yeah, you're dead. But
And you thought
especially-
the FBI... It's funny. You get to 5 stars and, oh shit, the FBI are challenging. You reach 6 stars. Now, if you're a newer GTA fan, and if you go back to the older GTA games, and if you get 5 stars, you're like, oh shit, I guess there's going to be a couple of SWAT, there's going to be the FBI. Okay, those are kind of OP. You get 6 stars. What the fuck is that green thing coming towards me? What is that? That's a thing with a boomstick. Stay away from it.
Yeah, and the one thing that also gives me kind of a difference is like the weapons that the game provides the law enforcements to use. Like, let's say like the FBI with like AK-47s, and that and even the army with like M16s and that. But the one thing is like when you like kill them. Like, let's say the army, for example, like, you kill one of the army soldiers, like, to get a tank, basically. It's not just the M16 they own, they even sometimes own, like, a grenade and a pistol along with it. Like, I understand, like, once you lose, like, the stars, sometimes if you just pull out a gun, like, at a walking army man, like, he would just sometimes just whip out a pistol. But the one thing I never noticed is, like, when does he get to use the grenade? Like, when does he even get to use it? That's the one thing that kind of questions me.
That's, I think, the funniest thing about Grand Theft Auto 3 is just how the people and the pedestrians in the game are programmed to use weapons. For example, if anyone has as good nostalgia with Grand Theft Auto 3 as me, they will know they had hours of fun with the riot cheat. The pedestrians go riot. And this game is absolutely bonkers. If a fucking pedestrian aims a rocket launcher, it's practically suicide. It doesn't fire anything. They shoot themselves and they die instantly. And people holding sniper rifles, fact, can only shoot you when you're actually aiming through your scope. Outside of that, they can't touch you. But the second you aim your scope, snipers can actually hurt you. Which is funny, because the GTA 3 mechanics, when it comes to AIs using guns, it's broken. It's completely broken, but it's funny as hell. Because in that riot cheat, they use everything. They use Molotovs, they use grenades, they use pistols, they use shotguns. Not good if you know what the Leone family are like. And you have a complete city of chaos. Now, Vice City and San Andreas would have their own versions of riot cheats, but nothing is as funny and as entertaining to watch as the GTA 3 riots. And you should try that out, actually. If you've got the GTA app on your phone, the cheat app, you should honestly try that. Like, save the game after this mission, and then just use the cheat and then reload it if you want to keep on. Fucking hell, I almost chucked my phone across my room.
No, this is the one thing.
Butterfingers.
Yeah, this is the one thing that's going to interest me now. Now, I'm kind of actually glad that I've actually made him stock the boat onto the beach. Like, this boat was like so, like, rare. Like, even though you couldn't like
The
store
ghost
it,
boat.
yeah, even though like you couldn't like store it because obviously the game would crash on you and that. But the one thing, like, if I could like get into it now, if I could get it in the water, like once you get in it, like just look at that, like not in first person, but look how black it looks. Like, look how dark it just looks. And when you look in first person, oh wait, look, I can just see the sand. Like, that's weird, but like, see, it's just so weird. Like, I understand why they call it ghost missing. Like, and even though on PC this was like it was black on PC, like instead of blue, but like
Ghost missing.
I know, that's the one thing. Like, why is it called Ghost Missing? That's the one thing. Like, is it, unless it, was it like, I had a feeling like it could have been like a scary like story that happened like years ago with this boat, or like something like maybe a man got killed on this boat maybe, and then
Yeah, and he
ghost
opened up the fucking gateway to the demon realm with how
I
you
know.
saw that in first person there. No, but realistically though, I feel like it's probably I can't explain the name or the texture popping issues, but first of all, its color and its look is probably so that you can see it from a distance, so it makes it
Yeah.
easier to track, considering that the water in this. You know what? I complain a lot about not being able to swim in some of the Grand Theft Auto games, but to be fair, I probably wouldn't want to swim in that. What the fuck is this? Is it clay? That's not water. That is horrible. That is no. I wouldn't trust my. I wouldn't trust my worst enemy in this water. Like, no, that's like, ew, gross.
Oh, I know, because I see some kind of water like this in San Andreas as well. When you go to like Flint County, yeah, I'm trying to get onto shore, but I have a feeling this boat might drive away from me. But like, oh great, now I can't get over. But yeah, though, speaking of the oh great, what am I doing now? Great, what the hell am I doing? Jeez. Right, I think I can
Just
get over
ram
there.
it. Just
There we
try and
go.
find a
There we
beach
go.
or something and ram it on.
Okay, but yeah, going back to the story now on San Andreas, like the ocean or maybe the lake in like Flint County in Baco Beyond, like I noticed that water as well. Like I used to thought like it's dirty water and all that, but like but back then, this is gonna sound funny, I used to thought it was chocolate water. Like I don't even know why I would think, I don't know why I would think that, but it just looked chocolate tea to me when I was like I think I was like
Chocolatey lake in the middle of the desert.
I know, like I think I was only like maybe 6 or something like that when I found out that. But ever since I realised, like I researched like other lakes on the internet, I realised, oh yeah, it was dirty lakes until I was like 10 now, which kind of got me the feeling of that. But
The most inviting waters in the GTA series have to be Vice City's waters and GTA 5's. Every other game just looks like it's got crap for water.
I know, like speaking of Vice City, like you can just see like the sparkles and the waves and all that. It was just,
Vice
it's
City
just
looks
so beautiful.
beautiful.
I know, like
Like-
especially on PlayStation, like you could see like it's just so bright and all that, and it's got like very watery effects on it. It really has. That is just so beautiful, like mad.
That, and even though you couldn't swim and go under the water, you could just have a sense of what Rockstar was planning for the future. Like, you had stuff under the water, which suggested that you could, maybe at one point during its development, maybe there were plans for Tommy to swim, but it never came to be. And they would have to get more used to the hardware before eventually introducing it into San Andreas 2 years later. But no, just the waters look so inviting, and the fact that you couldn't swim with Tommy just kind of, it's kind of an upsetting thing. And Vice City Stories let you swim, but the Vice City Stories water wasn't as clear, but it still looked nice. It was a nice shade of blue for what it was on the PSP and the PS2. It was a nice shade, and you could swim, but you couldn't see what was under the water. And it makes me think, I wonder if those details are still under the water if you were to remove the water as a mod for PSP. If you removed all the water, I wonder if the underwater Vice City stuff is still there or not. It's the same map, just with different things. Makes you wonder. And Liberty City could have had secrets too. It could have had a sewer. That's another thing too, the lost multiplayer modes of Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah, speaking of that, because there were... Now, they've actually done this with PC, like, they actually had a multiplayer, like, pause menu where you could, like, go online until they took it out. Like, it was,
Yeah.
like, seriously, like, I don't know
Even
if they...
PS2 had it. The early
know.
copies of the PS2 version had it.
I know, like, I'm actually kind of wishing this could have really happened, but like San Andreas multiplayer, which I know is for PC, and I actually enjoy it when I come to playing it. Like I play it like maybe like every sort of week, maybe, but they could have added it for like console version, like SAMP. Wait, and you could you could choose like so many different servers and all that. Like a free roam server.
You don't even need the ability to own a house or own a car. You fuck about in it, and I think that's
I
what
know.
the charming grace of it. I think that's what I like. I like two different styles of online games. I do like GTA Online structure, but there's a certain element to just having just a map where a shit ton of people can join and just fuck about with each other. It just seems fun to me. I mean, the GTA 3 multiplayer mods are they're just funny as fuck. Just to see multiple Claudes just running around and lagging all over the place.
Oh man. Now
That and the prototype version of the Fortnite jumping and shooting mechanics.
Oh. Now, speaking of GTA mods, like I noticed now there's like some GTA mods. Like I'm gonna name a few. Like you got
GTA
like
Underground.
yeah, and even GTA United and like Frosted Winter. Like I've actually got some of them installed on my computer, but I never really.
GTA Underground has changed drastically in the last year. They don't just have They don't just have gang territories in Vice City and Liberty City now. They have essentially they have the Vice City stories and the Liberty City stories gangs in there too. The triads are the triads from GTA 3 and LCS. They're wearing the jumpsuits from LCS, and then they're wearing the 4 overalls from GTA 3. Essentially, most of the gangs from all 4 titles outside of San Andreas are in that game. And there's even a bully map too. And these areas you can take them over. They don't become Grove Street territories, which makes sense. I can't see a fat Grove Street member catching a plane from Los Santos just to sit down and protect territory in St. Mark's Bistro, which is fair enough. But you can take over those territories, and they will, in Vice City, respectively, they become the Vicetti Gang. Whatever territory you take over is owned by them afterwards. And in Liberty City, whatever territory you take over respectively belongs to the Yakuza, which even though you kill Kenji, which they don't know about because they thought the cartel did it, you are still on good terms with the Yakuza, which is one of the only gangs you are still okay with by the end of the game. Side missions fuck up the Yardis and Diablos for you, the Leones, obvious reasons.
Yeah.
The Colombian cartel fucking hate you from the start, and they're one of the most funniest gang members. Aye, get lost. But no, every gang in that city at GTA 3 will end up hating you by the time you 100%ed it, beside the Yakuza. They would if they knew what you did, but they don't. So they're the only ones you're cool with by the end of the game. And they help you with the Colombian cartel too in the construction yard. It's funny to watch them fight. It's just hearing a bunch of gibberish against their cries, just seeing the Yakuza members shoot at cartel cars as they drive by is just the most entertaining thing.
Yeah, but it's not just the Yakuza that hate you though, it's even the hoods from Shoreside Vale. They don't even have an issue with you at all, even though it's not relevant to like the main story. It's more of like just, you know,
Oh yeah, I
like
forgot about the red hoods, the red and
yeah,
purple hoods of Shoreside Vale. I think one of them ends up hating you. No, one of them disappears when you complete a
yeah.
side mission, but the other one is then friendly with you. Okay, so two gangs like you by the end.
Yeah, it's actually the purple nines that disappear, cause and there's even the weird glitch that even happens and all with it. Like I know they fixed it on PS4 now, but like when this did happen on PS2. Like if you've completed like the mission where you gotta kill all the Diablos with like a bat and all that, and then like once you've like saved and reloaded that game. And next time you go back to Shoreside Vale to do that Uzi Rider mission, I've just remembered it, then they're not there. Like, there was no way you could do the mission. It would just be Red Jacks, because you still did that mission to kill all of the Purple Nines. Like, I don't know why they've done that, or something. I just don't really see why. Unless it was just kind of a misunderstanding, maybe. But who knows what could have happened, though. Who knows?
Yeah.
Now coming over to the characters, this one will really interest me, or maybe some people. Like, let's say like funny characters like Maka, especially when when CJ meets them like in the desert when the truth left him. Like you get Maka who's like obsessed with wanking
I had a
and
friend
masturbating all
last
that.
year that was obsessed with him when he went through San Andreas and did a playthrough. It was that, I love you, Maggie. I love you, Maggie.
I know,
It's like...
but it's not just Maka though. It's even Kempo. Like now Kempo is actually from Kent, which is like from the south of England, and then you got like Maka from Manchester. Like it's very funny like how
I
they
thought
want
he
to,
was from that area.
I
Actually,
know,
he sounds like someone
but
that's from my
it just interests me like to see like a northern Englishman and a Cockney mixture to see what goes on. Like maybe relevant to England if
the
you are
pride
from
of Britain.
I
What a
know.
beautiful example we set for ourselves. We're not all like that, by the way, folks.
know.
We're not all like that.
I'm definitely not like that, even though I love Geordies and all that. But yeah, it's just
Now,
like
some of us are complete assholes, but some of us are really nice if you get to know us. We make mistakes, but we're good all the same.
yeah, but don't really end up like Maka. That's the one advice I
No.
could really give you. Don't end up like Maka.
Not unless you're a sex offender, which no. Micah's not even that. He just has
I
has.
know.
He has strange addictions, guys. He has strange addictions.
I know, but there's the one thing that I find funny about him. Like, let's say like you drive into the snake farm with and it comes to a point where Maka needs like a piss and all that, and then like you pull over and even when he goes to do one anywhere, he's like, especially with the part when he gets me, fuck me, that is so good. It just gets me every time, like everywhere, and especially every
to be fair,
time.
if you're just walking up in the desert, the first piss you take probably would feel good. It gets it out of your system.
I know, and even every time, I don't know if this is just every mission, but like I don't know why he mentions tits in like every sort of mission, or maybe just maybe 2 or 3, maybe I don't even know.
Man tits, they were man tits.
And like, what kind of tits does this Rosie have? Big floppy sausage tits. Like, just every time, like.
Memorable San Andreas characters, and that brings us on to another, the one that gives you the mission to even pick up those two anyway, Mr. Truth.
Oh yeah.
Or was it? Or is it Rosenberg that gives you that mission?
Which mission are you on about?
The mission where you first get Maka and Paul from the desert.
Oh, is that? Yeah, I think the Truth.
Is it the
like,
Truth or is it Rosenberg? Because they're at the casino, so it could be Rosenberg.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is actually, because I see him lying on that sofa when you get to the casino with him. Yeah.
Ooh, right in the fucking happy sack.
Oh no, see, now speaking to that mission, that one really, that mission got, especially when he said that line, that got me in tears of laughter so much. Like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be doing King Courtney's missions, weren't I? But yeah, but that cracked me up every time. Like, can I fucking go now or fucking what? And then, like, even that knife, like, if you just look at the knife carefully, like, I know it's 3D based, but where Salvatore threw the knife, it didn't look like it caught him in the happy sack. It kind of hit the board and all that, because I could just see from
I
that.
I can feel the pain. I
I
can feel
know.
the adrenaline. Like I can feel. It's just your legs cringe, and you just want to protect your balls with whatever body
know.
is not tied up.
I know, I can just imagine that. Oh god. But yeah, see people, this is why this is why people still love him, you see. Like this is why maybe, you know, like 3D GTA games are like better. Like, because obviously I get like people even though I don't know, maybe most people my age or maybe even though when you're younger, no, GTA 5 is your first game and that. But yeah,
Every Grand Theft Auto has made its stamp on history. I think sometimes as well, in my mind, it's not essentially about what era is better or what game is better or what design. It's important to note that they all have features about them that make them what they are and make them fun. San Andreas, outside of everything else that people talk about, what are gameplay elements that we love and appreciate after having planes and helicopters in Vice City? We now have the ability to parachute from them, and that was another thing that was good about Vice City versus GTA 3. You can bail out of cars at speed. If you crash a car and your hood is flapping on the top, your hood actually falls off in San Andreas and Vice City, which is good if you want to see a little bit more of what's in front of you. And GTA 5 has weapon customization, it has scuba gear. Grand Theft Auto 4 had GTA 4 could have used a parachute for poor old Nico, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen suicide divers jump out of helicopters in Grand Theft Auto 4 videos. No, but every game has added something. Grand Theft Auto 4 builds upon what Vice City Stories started, and that's having a character that really doesn't want to be a criminal anymore. Now, I know DJ kind of didn't want to be a gangbanger anymore when he left, but he still was a criminal in Liberty City to get by. And Tony Cipriani was a hitman. Clyde was... he's generic. There's nothing besides revenge for his character arc, which is fine. I actually kind of like that. I love Claude for what he is. And then Tommy Vercetti, revenge and building an empire. Whereas Victor Vance wasn't a criminal. He just wanted to do the right thing. He just wanted to support Lance. He wanted to support his family. And GTA 4 with Nico kind of built on that. He wants to move away from the old country. So GTA 4 added story depth, along with Vice City Stories. So every game adds, whether it's gameplay or story or design or look or graphics, every GTA game is important in its own right. It gets something right. And yeah, anyone can come up to me and say San Andreas is better. Anyone can come up to me and say Grand Theft Auto 5 is better. I could post a meme of PewDiePie saying, well, can you do this above me, but I'm not going to do that. But no, like every GTA, I would love for someone to tell me there's a Grand Theft Auto game from GTA 3, and I'm not talking about Chinatown Wars and GTA Advance or the originals, from GTA 3 to Vice City Stories and from Grand Theft Auto 4 to GTA Online now. You tell me that not one of those Grand Theft Auto games was fun at all, and I would look at you and I would just say, you know what? Get out. Just get out. Show yourself out, please. Here, take this key. Lock the door behind you. Get out. No, but they're all fun, and I think that's the important thing. They are all fun in their own way. Yeah, they have their bugs. They're not perfect, but everything from GTA 3 all the way up to GTA Online, like, they're all fun. Whether it's the pedestrian sounds and the craziness of GTA 3. Vice City's Scarface-like storyline and the Vercetti estate and building an empire, Vice City stories as building an empire too, seeing what Lance was like before he betrayed you in Vice City. CJ's incredible journey with all the gameplay features that was in there. The gritty story of the Lost and Damned in GTA 4 to the extravagant story that would be Gay Tony and Luis Lopez to the crazy trio of Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, I think every game has something, it's just that spark to it that says, you know what, GTA 5 wasn't San Andreas, but you want to know something? This has a spark. This has a spark, whether it's Trevor's rage ability or Franklin's driving ability that arcs probably back to Midnight Club LA. Trevor is everybody that's ever gone on a rampage in GTA. Michael having bullet time, which is very reminiscent of what came before it with Max Payne 3. It's just, it seemed like every GTA game has a little love letter, but not just that, but every Rockstar title. You have Red Dead Redemption 2 that have their own spark for being in that time period it was set in. You have Bully, which deserves a second game as well, the Max Payne series. Everything, it's just Rockstar does it just right. And before GTA Online, before those shark card bullshit and all the memes started, up till those big expensive updates, Rockstar did good. I think Rockstar did good. From Grand Theft Auto 3 all the way to now, they've done good. And I think that's the most important thing to remember at the end of the day.
Yeah, now the one thing I really wanted to talk about was what happened to like some of the characters, like CJ, Tommy, all those characters that are still alive. Like, people really wanted to know, like, where are they now? Like, is CJ out of the hood anymore, or like, is Tommy retired or something, or is Claude got a family or something? Like, that's the main question people really want to know. Like, what happened to those characters after the events of the GTA series? Like, what did they do? Like, if you like, let's say it's San Andreas, like, there were some clues that you know, that where CJ could be. Like, let's say like you completed the final mission, end of the line, and like Mad Dog talks about we're going on tour. Like, that maybe that happened and all that, you know, they were set to go on like a worldwide tour around the world and all that. Okay, I could really do with a car, I don't want that, I'll just get the police car, but like, that has always been a question to me. Like, what has happened to the protagonists? Like, where are they now?
I think CJ, I don't think he after what Sweet told him, I don't think he ever let his times with the hood go. I think he's like a guardian of Grove Street. I want to say, because the 3D and the HD eras of their own things, I'm not gonna add the GTA 5 and 4 stories into this universe. I'm just gonna count them as two separate universes. I think CJ will always be the powerful guardian of Grove Street. I think those families grew. Realistically, despite what you do gameplay-wise, whether the Ballers and Vagos are gone completely, I don't think they are, but I think there's some traces of them still left, but I think there's not enough of them to really come back up. It's essentially, they are where Grove Street was at the beginning of San Andreas, in a bad state. Not just that, but almost wiped out because of what CJ did with his actions. Big Smoke's gone, so is Ryder, so you don't have to worry about those anymore. Sweet, I would imagine, Sweet becomes the main guy of the hood. Stays in this house. That's his personality. He's always wanted to stay there. This is where he was born, this is where he will die. Sweet probably wisens up a little bit. He probably comes out of the hood every now and then because he's relaxed a bit more, but he stays there. Kendall goes to live with Caesar. They have a kid, whether it's a girl, whether it's a guy, we don't know, but obviously I would imagine somewhere down the line Caesar and Kendall have a kid or two, and they're out of that. They're probably in the San Fierro area, working at that garage. That's probably where they go. Truth is doing what he always does. He's sniffing cocaine with his invisible goat in a trash can somewhere in San Fierro. And as for, Mecca and Paul, I think they're doing the exact same thing too. But they're helping CJ out as well. They're the same as they are, but they're probably around CJ a lot more than Mad Dog. Mad Dog probably employs them too, because he sees some weird, he sees a spark in them. Tony Scipione and Victor Vance, we know what happens to them because tragically their stories probably came to an end. Tony, as far as I'm aware, is still alive, but I would imagine at some point he gets killed when the Leones probably lose power. And that's another thing after the events of 2001 in GTA 3. The Leone family, would they have lost power? By that point, they're one of the only crime families still left in Liberty City. Sonny got taken out in Vice City just back in the 80s. And in the 90s, Salvatore and Tony took down the Forellis, the Sindacos, the Sicilians, which were across the water in Staunton Island. So, yeah, they were the only crime family left. So I would imagine the only families would have held around for a little bit longer. Hell, I would say even Joey took up the helm after Salvatore died. Probably even got himself a woman. Because after all, Salvatore did always say, your mother, God bless her soul, will be turning over in her grave to see you without a woman. I know, pal, I'm working on it. You know, I want to say Joey took up the crime family in Liberty City. Tommy still has his empire. I don't think he would have retired. I think he would still be strong. I think he would get weaker as the years go on. But I think he had a lot of useful things in the city to still help him. But I just hope he doesn't become like Tony Montana, where he believes himself to be bigger than the world and then he gets killed. I think Tommy's day probably will come, but for where it stands, he has a crime syndicate pretty much in Vice City. He's set, he's golden, he just needs to worry about deals and keeping the gang afloat. That's all that's ahead of him from that point on. And Claude, good old reliable Claude. I don't know, I think he would lie low. I think after Catalina's dead, he's got no purpose left. Maybe he went back to San Andreas to do street racing, like where he met Catalina. Maybe he moved to Liberty City because of Catalina, we don't know. But good old Claude, I don't think he stayed in Liberty. I think he went. I think he had enough money to leave by the end of the game. I mean, we have a hint of him shooting Maria in the final credits of GTA 3. Spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen it.
Yeah, that's the one thing that was very questionable to me at the end of the game. Like, did Maria actually die, or maybe she just got shot and just maybe just lied in a hospital
Shoots
bed?
her in the foot. Shut up, vile woman.
I know, like, that's the one question. Like, where is she dead or not? And we still don't even know. I think there was another mysterious character we didn't really knew what happened. Oh yeah, Donald. Like, when you go and see him again in that mission, Love's disappearance, that was just the mysterious reason. Like, where is Donald now? Like, where is Donald?
Well, looking back on his timeline, he started off in Vice City. We see him with that guy in the limo when Tommy talks to that dude.
Oh yeah.
Then we see him in LCS as well. We get missions from him. He looks the same-ish, but he sounds completely different. He becomes very smart by 2001. Obviously, he's the one that gives you the mission to kill Kenji. Maybe he just disappears again to lie low, but because he doesn't know Claude, and Claude isn't a friend, it's not like San Andreas. You know, Claude is just taking hits from people. For all he knows, Donald could ever hit on him, so he doesn't tell Claude anything. He just disappears. And I think that'll be one of the mysteries. He just goes to lie low. I think you don't need to really speculate a lot about it. Look at the city, look at the environment. He probably was wanted for dead by someone. Maybe someone figured it out. You know, there are people in Liberty City that are smart. Well, at least until, to be honest with you, the police department in these games, until San Andreas with Tenpenny and Pulaski, seemed like they were bone-dead idiots.
Yeah, now this character, which I do want to know about their life, and that is the woman herself, Catalina. Her life has all been crazy and all that. I really want to know what was her life like, because obviously she's, even when you first meet Catalina,
tough upbringing, definitely.
I know, like her acting all crazy and all that to anyone really, and wanting to kill them and all that. Like, I want to, like, her life.
It's like it's like a weird way of showing love. Like, that probably would be her way of showing love. Like, she has a knife to your throat. I mean, shit, I don't need to remember the cutscene when she invites CJ into her house for her first time. Oh my god, what in hell's name is that? This is Iraq.
That scene was something to remember, though.
You know what? CJ was fighting the Ballers. He was fighting Vargos. He fought Tenpenny and Pulaski. He fought all of this he did all of this shit across the state. I don't think anything was as scary as that experience.
I
Hands
know.
down, that's the most terrifying experience.
Yeah, with Iraq, with Catalina, CJ getting whipped. Oh, oh man.
Well, as you know, she was into some very sexually active but prone to problem parents. I don't know.
Yeah. But even though I get these sort of questions, like maybe from the GTA series videos comments, like what would happen if Trevor meted Catalina? Like you could just imagine how crazier life would be for the both of them.
I think it would be similar to that situation where he finds that pedalist in the actual game, where she's just being crazy to this man and stuff, and he just knocks him out, and he's just... I think Trevor wouldn't hate Catalina at all. I think he'd just get on his knees and be like, I love you, run away with me.
Just like with that that Mary woman in that exercise mission.
Yes. I think Trevor has a kink for crazy girls, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we obviously see, and I think King Jack wants to talk about CJ, Denise, and Franklin.
I saw CJ and Denise and Franklin. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
First of all, if no one does know, I think they will if they're watching a Grand Theft Auto 3 stream. If no one knows, the voice actors of Franklin and CJ are actually cousins.
Yeah, they're
That's
actually
part of
related
the
in
reason
real
why
life.
Franklin even got involved. Or Sean Frantino, I think his name is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the whole reason he got involved with Grand Theft Auto 5 was because of his cousin.
Yeah, and the one thing I've noticed was on their Twitter page, there was gonna be a CJ and Franklin collaboration, but I wonder if that's still gonna happen, and even if it does, I really want that to really happen, because I want to know. I really like to see Franklin and CJ do like a meetup and then talk about their life and all that. That's the one thing I always wanted to see happen.
The one thing I love, like, where you've got on the other side, you've got the voice actor of Nico Bellic, which was very iffy when it came to how much he was paid from Rockstar and stuff like that. And whereas you've got someone like that, and then in the next game, the next big title game that weren't the DLCs, The Lost and Damned, The Ballad of Gay Tony, you've got Stephen Ogg, and then you've got Ned, I believe his name is?
Yeah, Ned Luke,
Ned and Sean, and they have such... those three, if you were to meet them, and I would love to meet them person to person, they are probably three of the most entertaining people you could ever meet. I mean, Stephen as a whole, it's like this man himself has appeared in The Walking Dead, and he's such a fun person. Like he can go from being really cool to being really he's a good actor. He's a good voice and a good actual physical actor. And he can go from being really cool to acting like Trevor like that in the blink of an eye. Literally, during a panel, when someone was recording him, they asked if he could come down here and say something. He got up out of his seat in a mad way. He's acting, he's not legitimately doing it. He walked straight down into the crowd. He looked straight into the camera of the phone and he screamed, "Fuck you!" And then he went and sat down again. And I love it because that's Trevor. Stephen is Trevor. He doesn't need to act. It's like he's being him, and that's what I like about it. Obviously, he's not psychotic, but he's really good at playing Trevor. And Ned as well. Ned wasn't interested in it until he read the script. Video game or not, he loved the script. He loved the idea, which is why he was on board. He wasn't up for a Grand Theft Auto or a video game in general. But when he read that script, he was like, yes, I have to be a part of this. This is really awesome. And Sean, I don't think he thought twice, to be honest. He's like, Grand Theft Auto? Shit, I'll do it.
Now, speaking of this mission I'm doing now, like you get to the final mission of GTA 3 where you kill Catalina in that helicopter, and the one thing I noticed that when you get in the Esperanto in Kingdom Come, is the note from Catalina. Like, Catalina's dead. Like, how could she like deliver the letter when she's dead? Like, how could she? Unless it was like the letter was left there all this time, maybe. or maybe it was some kind of ghost or something that happened or something. Like, who knows what could have happened? Like, I just noticed that note appearing there in the car. Like, it was really mysterious.
Also, the mysterious blue arrows pointing out obvious enemies below you, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. See, the one thing
Are they
with those...
cartel members?
No, they're like TNT people or something. Or maybe... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. I think they were, like, something like that. Unless I'm probably wrong or something. But, like... Oh, no. I think they're going to get me. But, something like that.
Oh, shit.
There we go.
Yeah, the aiming system in Grand Theft Auto 3 could have been a bit better. Like I say, the later versions would end up fixing this.
Okay. Right,
Two-star one a level, not that bad in an
know.
old Grand Theft Auto game. You just
yeah.
have to lose one star and then it's at flux after that.
Alright. But anyways, I think I'm going to stop the podcast there. I think we've talked about enough as it is, because obviously...
Oh, shit!
things to do.
Suicide bomb to victory right there.
I know. But anyways, I want to thank you, Dan, for joining the podcast, even though you mentioned you wanted to talk about stuff. Well, thank you very much for coming along and talking about the moments.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. But anyways, let me know if you want me to do more podcasts with anyone. But anyways, thank you for watching, and we shall see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye, guys.